Okay. I think we're recording now. I think that's on the recording now, Robbie.
That's good. I'm trying to get out of the way here.
That's okay. I'm going to leave all of this in so people can hear just how casual we are. All right, this is episode 6. This is my guest is Kazi Uddin, also known as Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
That is your preferred name, Ronnie,
Yeah,
although
yeah.
everyone calls you Kazi. How come we all call you Kazi? Can you explain why?
Because in your country,
The United States.
Yeah, people usually,
Red, white, and blue. Rock, flag, and eagle.
people usually love to call you by your first name, but in my country, people usually call by their nickname. So my nickname is Ronnie. The people in my country call me Ronnie.
How come? Where did the name Ronnie come from? Is it an actual name or is it like a nickname? Truly.
It's a nickname.
So it doesn't. It's not like a name that someone would be born with. Like let's name him Ronnie.
No, it's a name. It's an actual name, but the part of your actual name is basically your nickname.
Okay.
So that's my nickname.
So, but Kazi is your family name.
Yeah,
So
that's my family name.
okay. So in Robbie's case over here, they'd call him Sylvie. In your case, right? Because that's his last name, so they put it first.
Not all the name are so there are some family who are they considered as the upper one. So in that case, your name, your surname would be in the first,
Okay.
and some case there would be at the very last of your name. So which you call the last name.
Yeah.
So there are some rules.
There are rules to
Yeah.
like how what order your name goes in. So what country do you come from?
I'm
where
from
you-
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. What part of Bangladesh are you from?
I'm from the southeast.
Southeast part of
Yeah.
Bangladesh. Okay.
Mhm.
So in Bangladesh, what's the native language there? How
Bang-
long?
Bengali.
Bengali. Okay. Have you been speaking English your entire life, or when did you start learning English?
Well, I started learning English. Basically, it's from my university days because we learned in English version.
Okay.
That's why. Otherwise, we just know the basic English from our middle school. We learn English grammar. So yeah, that's how we learn English there.
Okay.
Also, you could say people love watching movies and series.
So you
So-
learn it from there too.
Yeah, for my case, I would say that's the best part which helped me to, I mean, increase my listening skill and speaking.
Mm.
I would say that is watching sports and movies and series.
Okay. So, how comfortable were you with learning the English language? Because some people I spoke to, they have a love-hate relationship with it. That's not their native language, but you seem very comfortable with it. You don't hate English?
No, I don't hate English. Why would I?
Well,
English is an international language, so
I know, but the only reason I mention is because Outovich, the very first interview I did, he's one of my friends, and he goes, "I hate English so much. I hate it so much."
I
Because he
don't know.
struggled. You know, it's a hard language to learn.
I don't know. I think English is I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's easy, and obviously it's international language. So if you want to communicate with the people outside your country, English would be great. So
How many
I-
languages are you fluent in?
I'm fluent in 3 languages:
Bengali,
Bengali,
English, and
English, and Hindi.
Hindi. Okay.
Because India is our neighboring country.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of Bollywood movies. Even now, I also watch those movies. So yeah, I'm very much fluent in Hindi, Bengali, and English.
Was it a big cultural shift when you came to the U.S. to study mathematics?
Yeah.
It was. How long ago did you move to the U.S.?
I moved to the US in 2021.
Okay. But I thought before that you had some family that were living in New York.
Yeah, my family, they are living in New York, so they came here in immigrant visa. Due
Yeah.
to the age issue, I couldn't make it with them.
The age issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the rules is if your son or daughter is more than 21 years old, so they consider them they are self-dependent. They
Okay.
are not depending on you, so you cannot bring them along with you. That's why I wasn't able to make with my family,
Okay.
which was like terrible.
Do you get to see them much? Talk to them much at all?
That I mean, I that time we talked over phone like using Messenger, WhatsApp. So
Yeah.
nowadays I can communicate with them anytime if we get like if I can see them in weekend if I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7 hour distance in driving, so it's not a big deal to me. I most of the time I go to see them. So
It's interesting you say that because my family lives south of where we're at, and that's only a maybe 3.5 hour drive
mhm,
for me. So I could see them on weekends, and I do want to. I do miss seeing my family all the time
mhm,
because I'm pretty close with both of my parents.
mhm.
I was talking to my mom on the phone yesterday, and she goes, "Hey, how come you never mention me in any of your videos?" So this is me saying, "Hello, mom. I'm gonna mention you in more videos. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I don't get to see them as much.
Mhm,
So I call them all the time
mhm.
in the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Even though if it's like a 3 hour drive, I hate that drive. I hate doing that drive.
Same here. I always talk uh, to my mom in video call as she missed my son very much. So my
Yeah.
son loves to see his grandmother.
Hmm.
So they do a lot of fun stuff over the video call, and I enjoyed it.
That's good. So, but you are a family man getting
Yeah.
your PhD.
Hmm.
You're married and you have
Hmm.
a
One
young
son.
child. Yeah,
Yeah.
one son.
He
Do you
is
find it?
two.
Oh, he's 2 years old.
Mhm.
It's called the terrible twos.
Yeah.
When they get there to that
Mhm.
age, they just say no
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
everything. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have any of that. So it's just me
Mhm.
at school doing math, and when I get to go home, guess what I get to do? More math. so, but you get a break from it. But do you ever find that it's hard to be family man and be a grad student at the same time? How do you manage doing that? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people, I know I'm talking over you too much, so, but a lot of people in here,
Mhm.
it's just them doing the math. They don't have to worry about that type of thing just yet. But for you, it's different.
I would say it's difficult because as a grad student, we have to do a lot of homework, a lot of assignments and exams. Also, we have to continue our research.
Yeah.
So we have to read a lot of stuffs and do things. So whenever I goes to my apartments, my sons come and give me a hug.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Yeah.
He called me, Papa, let's play. Take the bat. He loves cricket, so
Mm-hmm.
take the bat. Go
He
there.
plays cricket at 2.
Yeah.
Or at least he's just
Yeah,
flinging around.
Go there, throw the ball, take the bat, go and bat. So he loves to watch cartoon, and he needs his parents with him. He
Yeah.
says, for instance, I'm doing coding. He comes, Papa, let's go.
So he's constantly taking you away
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the computer
yeah.
to do the.
Let's go and sleep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He wants to sleep.
Yeah. Let's go and watch the cartoon together.
Okay.
So,
What cartoons do they watch these days? I haven't seen cartoons in.
I mean, it's a lot of things like so. Earlier he used to watch Cocomelon. Now he
Don't even talk to me. I know what that is.
now he is watching some dinosaur stuff and
Yeah.
animals things. So yeah, his taste is changing day by day. And
Okay, that's good. Do you think you'll have more children?
not by the end of
Not for a couple more years,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
You most likely will leave the program
Mhm, yeah.
and then get.
Probably if I go
get a
to
job
yeah,
and then-
yeah.
What kind of a job do you hope to get when you're done? Because you're in the realm of statistics.
Yeah.
Like everyone in my office except me does statistics, I think. Everyone here is like, because there's
Yeah.
always the stats people in here.
No, I don't think he's in pure math.
He is, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's never
He-
like in
yeah,
this
he's
office.
not- yeah.
he has another office he spends time
So my
But-
focus is to join in industry.
in. Industry?
Yeah.
Like what specific aspect? Like biomedical or
Like as a machine learning engineer or a data scientist.
data scientist? I hear the word data science thrown around a lot because at the university where I got my master's at,
Mhm.
that was like the buzzword I heard all the stats people say, and then they would bring in people that worked in industry that had some sort of degree from that university. It was all about data science. So tell me what data science is, because I don't pay attention too closely to what people outside of my research are doing. So what is data science?
It's a huge thing. So, in short, you play with the data.
So company collects data.
Yeah.
They
And-
give you
and-
the data, and
yeah,
they say, "Tell
I-
me why I care
yeah,
about this
I
data."
would analyze those.
So what specifically do you do with How do you analyze the data?
So, i- for instance, you have 100 people of group in your company. So
Mm-hmm.
there are some salary ranges. If you want to figure out like who is which group is taking more salaries and why is that? What's the impact they are putting in your company? So what's the median salary?
Okay.
And what could you change on those? I mean, if you want to replace by some new people, and what could be the pros and cons? You have to analyze all those things
Mm-hmm.
using the
Do they also like
what
look
tools
at
you
like
have.
like if a company is selling widgets or whatever, I don't know, they're selling something, some
Mhm.
product,
Mhm.
and they notice they have like I don't know. I guess PepsiCo would probably be a good example because they have a bunch of different snack products. The food scientists make
Mhm.
different flavor of Pepsi every
Mhm.
week or
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
and then they analyze the data to see what people are buying,
Yeah.
or they'll maybe say, okay, for some reason this
Which range of people are buying? What was their ages are? Was their
Oh, okay,
likings in which region? This one is selling best.
yeah,
Why? What could be the reasons? These are the things analyzing. Also, like you have your friends in social media, right? So,
oh yeah,
and they have some mutual friend. You are sharing some common friend, right?
yeah,
So, what's their characteristics? Why you guys are common friend?
mm-hmm.
So these things you would analyze using your tools. So that's how you do the data science thing.
What kind of tools do you need specifically? Like, do you need MATLAB, or can you do it with an
Well,
Excel
you can
spreadsheet?
do it MATLAB, but mostly it's you people use Python and R.
Python and R.
Yeah.
Okay, I used R once when I took elementary stats. Like, I think the year was 2016. I took elementary stats, and I never touched real. Well, I touched some stats since then, but it's uh, it's something I really would like to get back into because I took probability theory here. I feel like a broken record. I've said this in like every single interview. I took probability, and I was talking just the other day, yesterday.
Mhm.
My advisor had a friend over. She was a big person at a university I went to a conference at.
Mhm.
And I sat down with her, and I just by happen chance sat down with her, and I knew who she was. I was like, this person might be able to help me out,
Yeah.
with all due respect.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to her. I was like, so you guys over at University of blah blah blah, can you like get me a job over there? And she goes, well, we are hiring math people. And I was like, okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't want pure people, we want applied. I'm like, this is not going the way I want it. So because she says, well, I was like, well, why applied? Like, what's so special? And then they says, well, in her particular case, they didn't have people. They had lost two people. One was like in the biology side of mathematics,
Mhm.
and another person was financial mathematics.
Yeah.
And financial math is something that I was kind of interested in because
Yeah. Probability. You need
probability theory,
measure
statistic,
theory,
measure theory,
yeah.
that's in there somewhere
Mhm.
too. But I also like to trade stocks sometimes, and I thought maybe that could be useful in there somewhere too. But I mean, as far as I know, this place doesn't have any. Like, where do you go to like learn financial math other than just picking up a textbook? Because that seems like a
So
very specific
our
thing.
department has that one because
They have a financial math.
Yeah, if you take stochastic analysis, and then they would offer you the financial mathematics. You can take. So as you did your probability and measure theory, it would be easy for you, I think.
Okay, I might have to look into that then because I definitely need more of a stats background. And if data science is the buzzword everyone cares about, then that's probably the route that I have to take too if I want to get some meanthrough job.
Yeah,
Because it's like, who
in
cares
that
about
case-
convex geometry at some
In
point?
that case, I would suggest you to take like, though they are 50,000 level course, but you should do that statistical learning, applied stats, and computational stats. These three
Combinatorial stats? Is that what you said?
computational stats.
Oh, computational.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these three courses would help you.
Okay. I might, if I get time, which time is like a big thing, because
Yeah.
we all got 2 years left,
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah.
It's like we're prisoners.
Now
I shouldn't say
also-
prisoners,
yeah,
but it's like you have 2 years and then you get,
and I don't know whether we are allowed to take courses after giving our candidacy. I don't know.
I think you can sit in Like you can sit in and audit the class. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
you can audit the class. Yeah, that
Which
could
I
be an option. But I would say, I mean, if you are taking a course which a professor is going to scrutinize, like what you are having, they are checking your
mm,
homeworks and taking an exam, that would put you pressure. Like, well, you that would push you to learn.
yeah,
But otherwise, if you are going and sitting, probably at some point you might lose your interest to keep pressure. Like, well, I
yeah.
have to learn this, otherwise. So there is a possibility that you might lose your interest. So it's totally up to you. Everyone is a different individual. So
Okay, I see. Yeah, I was talking to Robbie. He asked me at the end of our interview
mhm,
if the guy that taught probability theory would teach stats, would I take it? And I completely misunderstood the question. I was
okay.
telling him about this about half an hour ago before we
Uh-huh.
recorded. I thought he just said, "Would you ever take stats?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe if it doesn't interfere." If it was that previous guy, then absolutely I would because that guy was awesome. But I don't know. It's just a matter of can you really take a class within 2 years? Because you're in the complex analysis thing
Mhm,
right
mhm.
now. You have to take complex
Yeah,
analysis
yeah,
and do research, and it's looking like it's not going to help your research at all.
yeah. I mean, it's not related to my research, and also I hate pure math.
You
So
hate pure math.
yeah, yeah.
Where did pure math hurt you? Show me where it hurt you.
I mean, I don't like topology.
You
Like,
don't like topology?
yeah,
How do you feel about measure theory in general?
measure theory it seems okay, but yeah,
Have you taken any algebra courses before?
yeah.
Group theory, ring theory,
Mhm,
field
yeah,
theory? What do you think of it?
I did abstract algebra during my undergrad, which is like 10 years ago, probably.
10
So,
years ago?
yeah. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. And
Well,
I
you say you
also,
hate pure math, and yet I feel that algebra is probably the purest form of mathematics.
I don't know, probably the instructor was very good to me.
Okay.
And I also take number theory. It
Did you
was
take elementary number theory, or did you take like more advanced, like analytic number theory?
probably the elementary.
I took one number theory course, and it was
Mhm.
a very advanced version, and I kind of
Okay.
I had to be creative in order to get a good grade
Uh-huh.
in that class, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Because, like, again, in number theory doesn't really come up with the stuff that I
I
do.
love those subjects which has the coding.
Oh, you
And
like the coding part.
I mean, you are learning something. If you cannot apply this in
Yeah.
somewhere, I mean, I don't know what about you, but in my case, it doesn't give me the pleasure. Like, I'm learning something and I'm unable to apply it.
Okay.
So that doesn't make any sense to me. Why am I learning this if I can't apply this?
You need the proper context in order
Yeah,
to
that's
motivate
that's
the
why
problem
I
solving.
love applied math.
Okay. How come you chose to do applied math instead of like computer science or something?
Well, that's a $1 million question.
Yeah,
So,
I ask good questions sometimes.
yeah. So if you look in my country, the education system is like you could either choose public university or private university. So in public university, you don't have to pay much. It's
Mhm.
a little amount. In private, you have to pay a lot
Yeah, it's the
of
same
money.
story here.
Yeah,
I applied to a private
yeah,
school. They
and
said, "We'll think about it." Never heard
also
back
my
from them.
family asked me, I am not allowed to study outside my capital city. So in my capital city, I had only two university, public university,
Okay.
and I was not allowed to sit exam in one of them because my high school grade was, I mean, it didn't match. So I had only one choice.
Mm-hmm.
I take my exam admission test. There was like 30 people per seat.
Mm-hmm.
So I
How many
got
people took it? If 30 passed, is it a hard test?
no, not 30 passed. I said per seat.
Oh, 30%.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are 30 contestants
Okay.
per seat. So uh, I got chance, and I had the opportunity to take from physics, chemistry, math, statistics, all of those. So I choose mathematics that time. You know
Mhm.
why? That's the funny.
Why?
The funny thing is, I took mathematics so that I can listen to music. That was the funny thing.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, at first I took chemistry. I said, those professor in the interview board, they asked me, what do you want to take? I said, which subject I can. They said, as you are in the top percentile, you could choose any of these. So there was chemistry and these things. I said, okay, chemistry. And then I said, wait a minute. Can I change the subject now? They said, yes, as you are in this room, you can change until you are going out. So I said, I want to take mathematics. So one of the professor asked me, why mathematics? I said, I would be able to listen to music.
You can't do chemistry and listen to music?
I mean, I don't love chemistry that much.
Okay.
And you have to like cram a lot of things. But for mathematics, you don't have to cram a lot of things unless you are in pure.
I love pure math.
Yeah, yeah. So it would gives you a lot of time to listen to music. That's why I chose
I've noticed
mathematics.
I noticed that when I was, an undergrad, but also, this also includes high school years. I could always sit down and do the math problems that they give me, the exercises, and have just like complete chaos around me.
Mhm.
All these different distractions. It could be music. There could be someone working on a building outside, and
Mhm.
using a jackhammer, or someone in the room is like having a very loud You get the idea. So many distractions. Yet I could do the math. But if it was all other subjects, like reading a textbook,
Mhm.
if there's like any noise whatsoever, I can't read.
Yeah. So coming back to your question, why not
Computer
choosing
science.
computer science? I mean, having bachelor's in computer science was my dream,
Yeah,
but I couldn't.
you couldn't.
Yeah, I had mathematics degree, then I applied here, and I got also admission from University of Texas at El Paso.
Hmm.
So I could have done my master's there in data science,
Hmm.
but having admission from others university, I chose this one because this one is close to New York, so be I would easily be able to.
Access family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also this ranking is very high.
the ranking is good.
Yeah, that is also an issue. And now after joining this department, I came to realize that well, I have the opportunity to do my research in data science or artificial intelligence. Why not? I why wouldn't I take? I mean, grab the opportunity to do my research in artificial intelligence or data science.
So yeah, so when you finish and you get a job working in industry,
Mhm.
do you think you'll ever return to computer science in the future, or academia in general? How do you feel about the academic as a path, as a career choice?
Well, I would say that money matters.
Money matters?
Yeah.
Well, it
So
does. I mean, it does,
yeah,
because
at the end it does. So
I think the big thing I noticed, like the difference between pure and applied math
mhm,
graduate students,
mhm,
is the pure math people don't really seem to be too concerned with making money,
mhm.
and applied math people are like, actually, money matters a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not that we're greedy.
Mhm.
It's really just like you have to think like what's going to happen in the next couple of years. So I think
Yeah.
that in some ways applied math sees that better than we do. And I'm just kind of now I just took math because I enjoyed doing it for the sake of math.
Mhm.
Whereas now I'm kind of leaning more toward the applied math side of thinking, I would think, which is why I'd like to get back into statistics. And
I mean, to have a job in industry, you don't have to like have a degree in applied math.
yeah,
I would say your skill matters. So as you did linear algebra,
yeah,
right? Measure theory, probability, also analysis. If you could learn like Python or R, any of these, and apply these things like your start learning.
Yeah.
If you are able to apply those things in Python, then you are good to go for the data science or these things.
I know that they care a lot about publications, like how many papers have you written, especially in academia. Like
Yeah.
if like I think that if you are a PhD student and you've written no publication, well, I mean, you published your results in your dissertation,
Mhm.
but let's say that's the only thing you did, and you have your PhD and you just finish. I think a university would be much more interested in hiring someone without a PhD if they had like maybe 10 or 15 or 20 publications
Yeah, yeah.
to their name. It's like they don't really care about those three letters anymore.
And
They care about like,
also
can you bring in, you know,
there are some classes in academia like you are a tenure track and you are a teaching faculty. So if you are tenure track, you are having good amount of money,
yeah,
and if you are a teaching faculty, then you are, I mean, earnings. I would say half of them.
yeah,
So, I mean, it doesn't attract me.
doesn't attract. Have you did teach algebra for calculus here, right?
Yeah,
How many, you're a GTA, but what classes do you teach or what do you have other assignments that you do? What do you teach
I teach.
or assist?
So
Some
far,
people assist.
yeah, I teach algebra for calculus. Then I teach basic algebra.
Yeah.
I assist in modeling algebra,
Mhm.
then intrastats. So
Do you grade much for people? Are you a grader? I say the first year I was here, they made me grade for a calculus class. And I haven't really gotten very many grading assignments since then, but other people get grading
no,
assignments.
this is the first time I am having a grading assignment.
This time? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you grade for?
It's theory of statistics.
Theory of stats?
Statistical theory, right? Yeah, statistical theory.
Okay. How do you compare that to those duties compare with research? Because I am much more like if someone said, okay, you have two things to do tonight. You have to grade these tests that you just gave, or you can read this paper and do research with your advisor. And to be honest, I need to do both. But the one I'm doing first is probably the grading because I know it can get done and I don't really hate it. Whereas the research is like I'm gonna beat myself over the head for at least a couple hours to try and understand this guy's argument. So I guess I leaned more toward the teaching side than the research side.
I
Some
would,
people have that, but what about you?
I would choose research.
Research?
Mhm.
Yeah, I can.
I mean,
It does feel tedious when you grade.
grading is one of the toughest thing to me
Yeah,
because I feel sometimes whether am I doing injustice to this guy,
yeah. You don't want to cheat people out of points too.
yeah, or am I giving too much point to this guy?
Yeah, then you're just not doing them any
Yeah,
favors.
and also, am I reading everything, or I'm just looking at the answer? So these thing, I mean, uh, these things are questionable to me, like
Yeah.
whether is it correct or not. So it's better to do your research. At least you know what you are doing,
Yeah.
what you have to do, and you are learning something from there.
Yeah.
So I prefer that.
Okay. I think what's most likely going to happen to me
Mhm.
is I'll probably get a job teaching at a 4-year college.
Okay.
Even though I kind of feel like I want to try and do something bigger.
Mhm.
Because I know a couple of people that ended up going and working for banks. At least one guy. There was a guy in the department. He was an undergraduate,
Mhm.
and he was planning on going to graduate school, but he ended up getting a job at a bank. And then my analysis instructor wrote him a letter of recommendation, and that was pretty much it for him. So, and I was talking to my advisor about that too, about the banking life. He says basically you'll be rich, you'll easily become a millionaire, but your job will be just your boss will be on you all the time. You won't have any peace of mind, and if you screw up, they fire you and you're replaced with someone else.
Yeah, look, academy is good
Yeah,
if you want a peaceful life or if you want your job security.
yeah.
But
Academia is probably the best one.
but the hardest thing is the first 5 years.
Yeah.
If you are joining as a tenure track,
Right.
then you have to bring some fund. You have to show your work. So those 5 years are
They're gonna be
yeah.
pretty rough.
And also after securing your job, after your tenure, so there will be an increment in your salary. But
Mhm.
if you compare that salary to a guy who joined at the same time in industry, that would be a huge difference.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing sometimes you cannot be able to overlook.
Right.
Like, well, we did the same thing, we are going in the same way. I'm paying attention, I'm giving my 100%. This guy also giving his 100%, but I'm having 150K. This guy is having 350K.
Mm-hmm.
So that would hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I don't want to regret.
So so regret.
Mhm.
Do you think you would do anything differently if it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Because
Yeah, I would say yes.
what kind of things come to mind? You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but
Yes, I mean,
but I asked this question because a lot of people that listen to these videos are young guys and girls, but they need to know like any advice at all, like something specific
yeah.
that you may not get taught in a classroom is useful.
I was doing two masters at the same time.
You were doing two masters
Yeah, I was
at the same
doing
time.
my master's, Master of Science in Mathematics.
Yeah.
Also, I was doing my MBA on,
But you have an MBA?
yeah, Management Information Systems, because I thought I would join in like commerce, I mean industry
Yeah.
in my country. So MBA is highly valued if you want to join in any private sector. So that was the case. I did the MBA, which I feels like is not worth doing it, and also I spent a lot of time in after I mean doing my masters. I joined in a university as a lecturer, so I gave like 3 to 4 years there.
Okay.
If I could do my TOEFL and GRE that time, I would have finished my PhD by now.
Mm-hmm.
So that time period, like 3 to 4 years, I regret why I did that, because I could have saved 3 to 4 precious years of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like now I'm okay with it.
I used to be more patient. I had more patience like when I entered the program, but now I'm not, I wouldn't say impatient, but I'm just like, okay, I spent too much time in school and now I think about what I would have done differently, which I've mentioned before in old videos,
The
but
thing, I mean, in our department, the thing which doesn't make any sense to me, like we are joining the department, but we are not having any supervisor to supervise us before taking our qualifying exam, right? So after qualifying exam, you are having a supervisor, and you are reading something like for a year or year and a half. Then you are giving your candidacy. So before your candidacy, you have to do the coursework.
mm-hmm.
The thing is, if you are doing your coursework, you have to submit a lot of assignment and you have a lot of exams to prepare, right?
Yeah.
How do you give you time to do your research? How do you come up with something like, well, this is my proposal and I want to take my candidacy?
Yeah.
This thing is annoying. Like,
Annoying.
yeah, why would you have to do this?
Philosophies, I guess. I don't know. Your complaint is not the only one.
I mean, probably it has some good side. That's why they are doing it. But I don't know why. If people could like show us, well, you are doing complex analysis, you are doing this. These things are helping you in your research that way.
Yeah.
That might make sense. If you are not taking me like, wow, this thing is a proper shit, and after knowing this you have to do this because you haven't done your candidacy. I mean, how would I
I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question.
if you, I mean, if you assign a supervisor from the very beginning of my program,
Yeah,
then probably I would have done with my candidacy a
like a
year
year
ago.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your situation's different from mine. It's the why because we both haven't done it yet. But
Hmm.
yours is I'm not sure why you haven't done candidacy yet because I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm just saying. But the reason I haven't is because it took me 2 years to pass one test.
Okay.
But now it's kind of like okay, we need to start getting things figured out so that not any more time is wasted because we have 5 years essentially.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about. We talked about a lot of stuff actually that's on here, which is pretty good. Um, do you have any like personal life goals outside of making fat stacks? No, you pretty much did everything. I think a lot of people have they want to have start a family and all that, but you've already done that.
Oh, life goal?
Yeah, life goals. Like, do you want to travel
Yeah,
more or something like that?
obviously.
Do you have anything other specific? Like maybe you have a personal project that you'd like to get done that's specific to you that you can't dedicate enough time to because of grad school and family?
Not really.
Not really.
I would love to travel the world like with
But
my
you,
family.
how much world traveling have you done so far?
So, so far I went to visit India, Bangladesh, like
Home to
oh,
your
I,
corner of the
I
world.
would say every corner of Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And here in USA, I already visited like 6 to 7 states.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah.
That's about I'm from the U.S., but I haven't visited very many states. Although
Mhm.
I'm getting more out there. I recently traveled to Canada. I
I
mentioned that.
mean, travels would give you some pleasure. Like
Yeah.
it would be helpful to refresh your memory or like. I mean, for my case, I would say is mental like medicine.
Mental medicine,
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can't just stay in one. I think it's good to travel more and experience that. It's not so much staying in one place. I don't think is too healthy if you just permanently
Mhm.
stay there. So, but yeah, traveling is definitely on the to-do list. But I always kind of like delay it. It's like, well, let me do this first. I
You
had a lot of personal pet
you
pro.
would be able to see different things like the diversity.
Yeah,
So it's good, but if you are staying in one place and you're ending your life there, you're not seeing the world. And
yeah. I usually ask people what do they do for fun outside because these guys don't have families, but you probably all your free time is dedicated to your son.
ah,
But if you can, if
not
you that
really.
5 minutes of the day where you're by yourself, what are you doing?
Not only 5 minutes. Like in my case, I could say that there are a lot of Bangladeshi people here,
Yeah.
so we do a lot of hangout. Like we love to gossip and yeah,
You like to gossip?
yeah.
That's what you do. What do you gossip about?
Like
You talk shit on India?
no. Like we talk about like, for instance, we talk about cricket as our team is playing World Cup, and we talk about soccer, and we play cricket, soccer, tennis, like
He
and
keeps saying soccer for my benefit because that's what I would call it. But you guys call it football, right?
yeah, we call it football.
Yeah.
We call it football, but yeah, I'm used to soccer.
You're used to
Yeah,
soccer.
and at the very first time when I went to see the U.S. football, I was like, what?
American football?
Yeah, this is handball. Like people are running
He's
with the
calling.
ball in their hand, and they are calling it football. Why?
Everyone asks that question. It's like
Yeah.
because at one point you kick it.
Yeah, and then I went to Google and I searched why they call it football, and that instead they call soccer.
Yeah.
They should have called it football. Then I went to the history, like why they are calling it soccer. Now I'm convinced that okay, it's good.
Okay. All right. What do you attribute to your success as a math student? Like, how did you? Because some people, there's a discussion about how much of it is just your natural gifts that helped propel you through school and mathematics in general, and then there's other people that they're just all hard work. Hard work. They attribute it just sitting down, reading the book, doing the exercises, asking for help, and all that stuff. So, what do you think got you to this place right now?
I would say 30% God gifted and 70% is hard work.
70% is hard work. Pretty much everyone says the
Yeah.
same thing.
Mhm.
Every person up and down this hallway will not. I think part of it is it's a vanity thing too. It's like he's like, oh, he's like, I was like, I'm the best mathematician just by chance, just by birth. No one's gonna say that.
It's not gonna happen. Like, see, now I can calculate what's the square root of 144? It's 12, right?
Yeah.
But how do I know? Is it God gifted? No, because I practice it a lot of time. That's why I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say 30% is God gifted and 70% is your hard work.
Hmm. Did your family, were they instrumental in your success as a student, like hard work? Did they require you to? What I'm trying to say, I'm not wording the question very well. But was your parents like on you as a student? They made sure that you were getting good grades, and if your grades dipped, did they punish you in any way?
Now.
Well, no, back then. Do they still punish you? They're like, what grade did you get on the complex test, Kazi?
No, they don't even care.
They don't care.
Yeah, they care. They're like probably till my middle school.
Till middle school they were
Yeah.
involved, and then afterwards you were
Yeah.
pretty much self-sufficient.
Well, they don't care about it because they saw I always used to do well in the exam, and
Yeah.
I was like top 2 or 3 percentile.
Hmm.
So they are pretty much happy with me. So they never ask me why you are having this or that.
Did they push you into any extracurriculars like sports? Did you ever play sports?
They restrict me.
They restricted you. What do you mean?
Not to play.
Oh, they didn't
cricket
want you to play. Why? Why is that?
because
Your grades would dip.
I was the one who escaped from school to play.
You would just run away from
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play soccer.
No, to play cricket.
Oh, to play cricket.
I was very good at cricket, so they are just looking whether I'm going to the school or not. Sometimes they used to take a report from my teacher that how many days I went to school. No.
Oh, so attendance was the issue.
Yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah, I remember once. This is a kind of a sidebar, but I remember when I was a senior in high school.
Mhm.
I always had really, really good attendance. I always went to class. But in my senior year of high school, I had this homeroom. And homeroom, all it is you go into a room and you just sit. And you can do whatever you want. It's like a study hall.
Mhm.
There's no reason to be there. There's no grade. There's no
Yeah.
test. It's a study hall.
Mhm.
Well, my senior year of high school, I took college classes at a community college. So I wouldn't even go in to high school. I would just go to the community college,
Mhm.
get credit there, get credit at the high school, blah, 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 blah. Well, March comes around, March of the school year. We're kind of like getting into graduation season. And I noticed they see on my report card or whatever that I never showed up to a single day of that study hall. And they called me and was like, "Hey, how come you never went to the homeroom?" I was like, "Because there's nothing to do in there." And I kind of got in trouble a little bit, but then I pretty much stood my ground. And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna let you graduate. We're not gonna hold you back because you didn't go to homeroom." So I can't remember exactly how it was resolved. I just told them like, "No, this is unreasonable."
Mhm.
Whatever. They just wanted. I think they really just wanted an explanation as to why I didn't go. The candidacy exam is your next step, and then after
Yeah,
candidacy, 2 years left of
Mhm.
research. You took qualifiers in statistics, and what was the other one?
Methods of applied mathematics.
Oh, methods. Okay. Did you take them different years or the same year?
Same year.
How was preparation for that? How did that go?
Well, so if I talk about the preparation, I was scared of statistics
Okay.
due to the professor's strict grading,
Mm-hmm.
and me, Light, and Ibrima, we three spent a lot of time in the library during our summer break
Mm-hmm.
and summer courses.
Did you study how often did you study, like 6 hours a day? Because some people during the summer, that's kind of what
Pro-
people do.
Probably sometimes it's more than 6 hours. Ibrima? Yeah, sometimes it's more than 6 hours.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you do practice problems or did you just review the notes?
We reviewed the notes and also we solved previous year's qualifying questions.
That seems to be the same strategy everyone
Yeah,
uses. Just
yeah.
look at what was done before
Mhm.
and just hope that you get a good batch of questions. Which one did you do better on?
On statistics.
You did better on stats,
Yeah,
and that was the
yeah,
one you were worried about.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the one we worried about, and we are pretty much confident about methods,
Yeah.
but we couldn't.
Couldn't what?
We couldn't make it on the first chance.
Oh, so you had to take it again? The
Yeah,
methods?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So we take methods on January.
Oh, so you took it the next semester.
Yeah,
Okay. But stats you nailed it the first time.
yeah,
And then the second time
yeah.
you took
While
methods
we
twice.
are taking methods, we are like asking ourselves whether we are giving methods exam or not. I mean, where these questions comes from.
Yeah.
Like none of them was like familiar to us. Like what? And the same thing happens while we take the next time.
Mm.
Like where this comes from?
I think the instructor that wrote the test wasn't the same one that taught it, right? It was a different person.
I don't know. Basically, there are 2% who said these questions.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they said that one. I heard that like no one passed this exam,
The
methods
methods.
exam,
No one
on
passed?
their first attempt. Except yeah,
Okay.
he's the one who passed in the first attempt. Apart from him, I heard no one in the very recent past that passed this methods qual.
Sounds like that's your guys' measure theory qual.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
white
it's
whale.
like
Yeah.
so. This time, there are two people. They are probably they would take their qual in August. But
Yeah.
professors is suggesting them not to take that one because no one has ever passed in the past attempt. Probably he forgot about. But yeah,
Okay.
so this is the thing that you could assume that you are not going to pass, but you should give your best.
Yeah, I don't know. I get why they're hard. It's just I wish studying. I don't know. It depends. Different quals require different strategies.
But
Some you can strategize very well with, and others not so much.
you know what? That subject was our favorite.
Methods was your favorite.
Yeah. Like we thought
You're gonna nail it.
Yeah.
And then they handed you the test,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, "What is this?
Was this?
What is this?"
Yeah.
That's funny.
Uh,
I would like to take methods. Based on what little I've heard of it, it sounds like something that would be right up my alley.
we could have passed, but in in our website it's mentioned that you have to have at least 140 in both the subject, but
Yeah.
you are not allowed to have less than 60 in a course. But they didn't follow that one because they said this is the website is obsolete. So the thing is you have to have at least 70% in both the subject to
Okay.
pass PhD level. Otherwise, you are not going to.
I know that my analysis score was well below 70%, and I think on the second attempt that I passed, I probably got somewhere, probably just a tiny bit more than 70, I would say. So, but they told me your score is really, really good. I was like, I was barely passing really, really good. I guess because I don't have to take it again. I guess that's a really, really good fact. Okay. Is there any particular reason you chose the advisor you chose? Was there anyone like a group of people like this guy's good, this guy is interesting, or was it specific to like what he was doing research wise?
The thing is, I did a class with him, which is computational statistics. I find this guy is very humble and very good,
Yeah.
and also he's pretty much knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I think having a good professor as your advisor, like a flexible one who is very humble and would appreciate your work,
Mhm.
and if you are stuck on somewhere, he is going to
Sit down and work with
yeah
you.
yeah.
That's a good quality to have.
Yeah, so if you are having an advisor like that, it's a blessing for you. Why wouldn't you take that opportunity?
I know. That's the reason I chose when I was getting my master's. That's pretty much the reason I chose my advisor.
Mhm.
He was just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He was very pleasant to be around. He'll sit down and work
I
with
would
you.
say my advisor is a very, very nice guy.
That's good. That's good. All right, this is the last question. What is your favorite number?
7.
Why?
Because Cristiano Ronaldo plays.
Krishna?
Cristiano Ronaldo wears.
Oh,
number
Cristiano
7.
Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I thought you
see
said
a
Krishna
7.
the god from Hindu. No.
No.
No, Cristiano, he's a
Yeah.
different god.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
See a
excellent.
7, man.
You know, here's funny. I don't know if I've ever said this on the channel, but 7 is also my favorite number, so
Oh,
we have something in
okay.
common.
Then give me a high five.
All right, there you go. All right, thank you, Kazi.
Take care.